Da-da-da-da. All right. What's good? I don't know why I'm doing another Halo video, but Halo rumors are fun to cover. And this one isn't so much a rumor. Break-in by Jason Schreier of Bloomberg, Microsoft's 343 Industries will still make Halo games, despite rumors to the contrary, but with the mass layoffs, at least 95 people, an engine pivot to Unreal, and it's focused only on multiplayer for the near future. 343 is hitting the reset button right here. This is the big topic right now. An engine pivot to Unreal is actually happening. Confirmed by Jason Schreier, yes, or corroborated by Jason Schreier. The original news broke back in October by Mr. Sean McDubbs, and even I was really skeptical of that rumor. I was like, honestly, I just can't see it. Working with like Unreal, not working too much with Unreal, but like working in dev and seeing games and like just development in general, the thought of switching over to Unreal just didn't seem like it would make that much fiscal sense, because it's kind of like, look, not only do you got to pay a license to Epic, which I mean obviously Microsoft can afford, but it seemed like the amount of like change that you'd need to make for Halo. Now I can't say I know Slipspace or Blam all that well, but it seemed like it being proprietary was one of the main factors in Halo having such a slow development time, because you know, when you're developing in something that's proprietary, not only when you hire someone do they have to learn the new system, but once they learn the new system, they start coding and then they get all the like gotchas of that system. Whereas Unreal is being open and something that everyone's kind of taught on early, makes it easy for people to just jump in and start working. So it does make sense from like, you know, you can bring out new employees on really quickly, but you definitely lose a lot of your legacy like feel of Halo. So it's both. I don't know how I totally feel about it, but they're doing it. It doesn't really matter how I feel about it. It's happening. So Tatanka, Certain Affinity, they will be pushing Unreal. Johnny Owen's Halo transitioning to Unreal is both surprising and sensible, as the teams behind commercial engines, specifically Unreal, become bigger and the engines become more general and reliable. It makes less sense to invest the money in developer time to roll your own. 100% agree. I've worked in companies where we rolled out our own frameworks, and after a while we just can't keep up with open source frameworks, and it just doesn't make sense to keep developing your own, especially when those open source frameworks solve a lot of problems you haven't yet even encountered. So there will still be proprietary engines, especially at first-party studios. The first-party incentives are often different to create the best looking and most performant game possible on the hardware, and a specialized engine can have an advantage there over a general one. And that's so they're basically saying, look, Blam will always work better on, say, Xbox hardware, but whereas Unreal tries to work great on everything. So they're saying there's still going to be some proprietary engines and stuff going on, and that part of what makes this change surprising, that it's a first-party tentpole franchise, probably the best place for a proprietary engine, and yet they're moving to Unreal. In the best-case scenario, the ubiquity of Unreal can help lower development costs, especially for games that aren't trying to push boundaries on. Here's the thing, Unreal Engine looks friggin' amazing. If you've seen like the new Fortnite update and like what they're doing in Unreal with, I think they were calling them nanites. Like they've gotten the graphic and that stuff down pretty friggin' good. So Unreal's not a shitty engine. Let's not twist things. Unreal's a friggin' dope ass engine that a lot of dope ass games are built on. The biggest real problem right now isn't that it's going to Unreal, it's that you're going to be taking a game and transitioning it. And really what kind of irks me, doesn't really irk me, and frustrates me, is knowing that because we're going to Unreal, we're going to be losing. If Tatanka was going to come out this year, now they're just now switching to Unreal, that's going to cost them at least another 2 years. Patrick Wren, former 343 dev, says he used to work on multiplayer on Infinite before, and then left after it launched. This is a huge thing. It took a minimum of 6 months to ramp up someone on Slipspace just for them to do minimum work, and then another 6 months to really work at speed. And then, yeah. Interesting, Colby Payne said in an interview that the ramp-up time was 3 to 4 months on an interview with Kevin Kulak. Halo. It depends on what you're doing and where you are in production. It fluctuates, and it could be that, but my estimate has always been slightly longer. Yeah, it also depends on the person. Some learn quicker and some take a bit to learn new tools. After about 3-4 months, I was in the engine designing my first outpost redoubt of Sondering. Yeah, actually runs compares it to film. When you go from one film studio to another, you don't have to reinvent the camera. Their standard tech makes it easier to hop between jobs than in games, which I'd argue is an important part of why their union structure works. Do you think you can... Yeah, so... Dev's saying, yeah, it used to take people 6 months to get on to slip space, so hopefully that's reduced with Unreal. Bathrobe Spartan, he was tweeting out yesterday that, you know, from the leaks that they had leaks from December, which showed that Tatanka was still being built in slip space. So I don't know if he was trying to like water down rumors of the switch to Unreal, saying, no, look, I got things happening that show that it's still happening in thing. And I read some other reports that said Tatanka was being developed in December still in slip space, but them making a decision now saying, look, it's still not out, we still got time, let's just scrap it and start transitioning all of it over into Unreal. That makes sense to me too. So all this, both things could be true. They could have been working to release Tatanka in slip space and then decide, look, it's time, we got upper management to sign off and we're going all Unreal. And then Jez Gourdain, he also like corroborated it that, yeah, now he's able to, because originally when the first rumor came out, he said I couldn't corroborate it. Leaked Halo Tatanka a year ago, but yeah, I can corroborate all of this. I wanted to get more sources on Unreal before pulling the trigger again on that. Seems there was a big internal tug of war. And yeah, that was someone else was saying was, there was this internal tug of war. You had some teams who were like, no, we gotta stick with Blam. We gotta keep going with slip space. Let's not waste time doing this Unreal thing. And others saying, look, we can solve a lot of problems that we're currently facing by going to Unreal. And I think their biggest problem is just when they're trying to bring on junior devs and they have this contractor turnaround and contractor burn. You know, bringing contractors on who know Unreal is going to make them a lot more efficient than bringing contractors on who know Unreal but now got to learn slip space, then got to code for slip space or design for slip space, whatever it is, only to, you know, fire them again and do that cycle all over again. So it seems like there was an internal tug of war, and then once Bonnie Ross and some of the team who were more slip space were outed, the Unreal side won. So that is where we're going there. And they actually did release a Windows Central report, which I suggest everyone take a look at. It was pretty cool. One thing that they talked about here was with the move to Unreal, they're also looking at potentially bringing Halo to other devices. Like, it won't just be an Xbox thing. Some people took that to mean, well, that means it's going to be coming to PlayStation, or could it mean it's coming to PlayStation? My bet is it means that we'll see some Halo stuff going to mobile, because mobile seems to be a big place that Microsoft wants to cash in on. And part of why I think the Activision move was happening is so that they could get a greater mobile presence also. Because if you don't know, Activision doesn't just make Call of Duty, they also make Candy Crush, one of the most successful mobile money-making games. So there you have it, something that's been corroborated by a lot of people. Sean McDubs was right, I was wrong. Congratulations, Sean. Should never have doubted you. But hey, 2 more years of Infinite at best, and then it looks like we're just going to move everything over to Tatanka, which some are saying is going to be a standalone game. So let's see where that goes. Anyways, catch you guys in the next video. Peace.